G'day guys, Josh here. Welcome to another episode of State of the Economy. And as you guys can hear, I'm on the high seas at the moment in Lost Ark. If you guys are having a great day so far. Now we're going to get into Lost Ark overall, and of course we're going to get into the first part, which is going to be the bussing, how the bussing is going at the moment. So being reminded that this is late week bussing, so it can be pretty hard to see how the bussing is going so far. But as I kind of expected that the Argos bussing would go down to 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. The main reason why is there's so many buses. I mean, look at it. Like, I always said this, like, there are so many buses at the moment. Like, look at that. Just a quick 1,400, 1,500. And you can see there, like, overall, sorry about that, I had a bit of an urgent DM come in. But you can see here, as I said before, there's just too many buses and too little people at this point. Now, we got to check in the lovely Voltan buses as well. And there's actually been a new sort of bus where people were bussing these Infernos for 500k apparently as well, according to rumors. But you can see here, not many buses here for Voltaners per se at the moment. It is late in the week, so probably already done it already. And also, as you can see here, Voltan buses have gone up slightly to about 1,200, 1,100. Overall, it's late in the week. There've probably been a lot more buses early on. Either way, the price has climbed up a bit. Next up, we're going to check Vykas, and I'm going to say there are some Vykas buses still going on at the moment. But, well, at the moment, there's a lot of test buses as well, so I think Vykas buses are getting quite popular as well. But, as I said before, it's late in the week, so, you probably won't have too many buses going already, because they've already would have cleared it on the first week. Now, I've been seeing buses go for 4k or 5k of Vykas. They are starting to go down, just as, more and more people get to that point where they can do the bus themselves, basically, or can do the content themselves. I mean, I agree, Vykas Gate 2 and Gate 3, once you get the rhythm of it, it's not exactly too hard. Even in Gate 1, it's not exactly too hard as long as people just play safe and don't die. Or if they do die, that, it's either on human phase after stagger and orbs, or, like, basically demon phase almost dead already, depending on the second half or not. Now, we're going to check the next thing. Is basically going to be the Gumari market. As we just do a little check. We go to the Mari market as well to see how that one's going so far. I actually spent all my crystals on stuff. I didn't get the new crystalline aura yet. But we're going to go to the currency exchange, and geez, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Like, the blue crystal market just keeps going up and up and up and up. And I don't know the main cause of it. A lot of people are suspecting RMT and stuff like that as well. I'm actually thinking it's the fact that gold isn't being spent, okay? And no one's buying the gold. Is that no one's... Yeah, I guess so. No one's actually buying gold at the moment, okay, with the royal crystals, because everyone's just, like, leaving there, honing's fine, stuff like that. And the blue crystal price just keeps going up, okay? Obviously, the demand for blue crystals is really high, as well as everyone wants to get their crystalline or a refresh and stuff like that. And also, at the same time, people are generating more gold via bussing and stuff like that, and also via the raids, and various other methods as well. It's going to get to a point where, like, you need to have ults running gold, otherwise you don't have enough gold for crystalline aura. And I think this is going to actually lead on to another effect later on, where players will quit because they can't afford crystalline aura, and then basically what's going to happen is that the price is going to go down because no one's purchasing it. Yeah, basically no one's purchasing or selling it at all, or buying blue crystals, that the price is going to go back, basically, and then it's going to go back up again, basically. I think this could be the new normal, that the prices of the blue crystals are going to be quite high, given the fact people can generate more gold now, because a lot of people have like five characters that gold designated, the ults, doing Argos and Abyss dungeons as well. And it might force a lot of people to do like Legion, get into Legion raids, stuff like that, to generate a bit more gold on the side. And that's what it seems to be looking like at the moment, okay? Now let's get to the AH. The AH, let's just get in there right away. Let's check the pouch market. The pouch market's actually been very, very resilient, actually. And I've actually been surprised by it as well. Like, the pouch market's been very resilient. Honor shards, going back down again, but Harmony Shard's 128 for a green bag, 146 for a Life Shard green bag, green bag, and then Harmony Shard's 179, and then basically, I gotta say right now, if you get an epic map or a legendary map in, like, any of these markets, you are making a mince, like, 300, that's 1.2k for an epic map, and that's about 2.4k, or maybe 2.5k for a legendary map, which is really, really good in tier 2. And, of course, at the high crystal price, you can basically, if you do get a legendary map or you do get an epic map, you can probably farm enough gold to buy just a crystalline aura in a couple of weeks. Now let's head over to honing territory and see how honing territory is going at the moment. Leap stones, just roughly the same price as always. I mean, they're not going to go up too much. The only real honing mat that's going to go up a lot is definitely the shard pouches, given the fact that a lot of people have said in the comments in the previous video that you need a lot of shard pouches to even get into tier 3 or to get to tier 2 very, very quickly, even with doing the island speedrun. So, and also tower as well. You still need a few extras. But as you can see here that, you know, just doesn't really matter too much. Now we're going to get to the Guardian Stones to see how they're going at the moment, and everything's 1G still. I mean, nothing's really going to change about that. There's no reason for anything to change. There are going to be new mats coming out with Breshaza, but I gotta say, I think these prices aren't going to change too much. Destruction Stone's gone up to 8G. I think it's going to stay there with 8G. Weapon's the hardest thing to level, and a lot of DPS do want to level up their weapon, so I think it's going to be business as usual. Now we're going to get to the solar stuff. We're going to get to the honing supports. So we're going to get to the fusion mat, 7G, 50G. The fish is actually going up quite a bit, so if you do have a bunch of fish, you could probably sell them for quite a good profit. Solid Graces, Blessing, and Protections have just been at the same point over and over again. There's been no real differences per se. Now you can get into the breath as well, and the breaths, as I said, like they're useless. They're like basically going to be 1G each. They're not used for very much anymore, given the fact there's 100% success rate in tier 2. Now, that's the honing stuff done, okay? So honing stuff's been pretty much normal. I mean, there's been no real market update, and that doesn't really need to be, given the fact that, you know, basically Vykas is on farm for most people. Elemental HP potions, you know, I'm surprised they've gone back down to 19, but they're still pretty high. I guess some people are still progressing on Vykas, but I think it's getting to the point where everything's on farm and everyone's waiting for Clown to come out, or everyone's preparing for Clown, basically. Now, engravings as well. Engravings, blue engravings have been selling quite well, if I'm going to say right now. Basically, a lot of the top tier ones on blue engravings have been selling for quite a higher price, as you guys can see here as well. You know, compared to the fact that, you know, epic ones are only selling for like 1G and stuff like that. But you can see here, like, some of these blue, you know, books are selling for like 50, 54. It could be worth to farm some of these, but I'm not sure, like, of areas where you can actually farm some of these books in reliably in a certain area that doesn't lock you out, you know, in epic and legendary, for example, for engraving books. Now, as you can see here, basically legendary engraving books, I think these will stay pretty expensive. Shock training's actually become one of the highest, which is kind of crazy on a scrapper. But you can see here, a lot of the class ones are becoming the higher, you know, ones to sell out. The main reason for that is that basically to get 5x free and 1x 2 is basically you have to have a class engraving, because mostly for most classes, your class engraving is your best. Even for Deadeye as well, you have to have a class engraving, because otherwise you don't get enhanced weapon, okay? And you can't get +5 enhanced weapon and leave enhanced weapon and then, you know, have all your max traits because you've wasted a 5 where you need a 5 for Grudge, Cursed Doll, or another, you know, thing altogether. Now, as you guys can see here, Grudge is no longer the top dog. So basically, KBW and Grudge are a lot in demand. And you can see Adrenaline's also a bit in demand as well. But you can see here, it's just all class engravings that are the expensive ones at the moment. So I was going to say, if you do get 20 of, you know, a certain book and stuff like that, it's actually better off to probably get one that isn't a class engraving, basically. Like, you know, to get a battle engraving one instead, and maybe get your class engraving if you can. Now, the funniest one is the cheapest class engraving, I believe, is the, not the Dead Eyes. I think it's, yeah, it is the Dead Eyes Enhanced Weapon or Time to Hunt. But there's a few very, very cheap class engravings, like Bard as well, where no one really goes it whatsoever. Now, we're going to go to the cooking, see how cooking's going so far with the herb. I love it. I love how I accidentally rate it as a, you know. You can see how the herb steak's going. It's the wrong one, by the way, I think it is, yeah. The herb steak, 382. These food buffs keep going up and up and up. And I think the main reason why is people take them to do extra damage and stuff like that to really pump their DPS. And I think these will go up further and further as basically time goes on. Now, we take a look at the skin markets as well to see how the skin market's going so far. And I guess overall, I think the skin markets, as I said before, as long as you've got like a very, very, you know, rare skin, like the founder pack skins and the skins you can buy, you know, with real life, you can get pretty much quick gold from it as well. Like, you know, at this point, funnily enough, selling royal crystals for gold compared to buying skins with it is actually, yeah, it's actually a new deal that people buy skins instead of selling gold instead. Now, the pets as well. Pets are a bit different, I'm going to say. Actually, pets are probably going to be exactly the same. You get a rare pet, and you can just probably buy it, you know, buy it with raw crystals and then sell it in AH as well. And that's what a lot of people have done. As you see with Lizette, Janus, the Tokis as well. People still making a bit of a mint on it as well. Now, last but not least, is basically, as I said before, class engravings actually not going to be so expensive now, I'm going to say, since a lot of people are getting 12 of their class engraving instead of getting 12 and something else. They're going down this way. Actually, you could actually go for, like, you know, you could actually get 15 of your class engraving in here and then spend 12 on other books. But it really depends on what you need. Now, we're going to go here again, and we're going to see, like, enhanced weapon. I think this will probably have dropped in price quite a bit, given the fact on Korea, a lot of people have decided to get the 12 book instead, because the 12 book's a lot cheaper. And you'll probably see this here very shortly, that, you know, basically for enhanced weapon 5, it's actually not so expensive anymore. So class engravings have been going down a bit unless they got a good secondary, basically. Well, not good secondary, but a good secondary trait. So we'll put into specialization here. So you can see here, it's only got, you know, 4k and 8k with a precise dagger. I actually bought my precise dagger at 5k, so it's a bit more expensive. But you can see here that, you know, only the pricey ones are the ones with Cursed Stone and Grudge on it. But everything else is not so pricey anymore of enhanced weapon. And the main reason for that is that people were moving out of getting the enhanced weapon here and getting the enhanced weapon on +3 instead. Now, I'm going to say +4 enhanced weapon won't be that expensive, but +3 enhanced weapon will be a lot cheaper. As you can basically see here, like, you know, a Grudge enhanced weapon 3 with crit specialization, which is not too bad because you probably want swiftness instead. But you can see here that's a, you know, oh, so if it was a +5, it would have been great. But you can see here, like, you know, the +3s are a bit cheaper. I mean, KBW is one of the best engravings, and you got that for 65k. It's actually quite cheap compared to, for example, trying to go for a +5 enhanced weapon with KBW or anything else like that. Now, overall, I'm going to say anything like, you know, we're going to put this class like a sorceress or something like that, and you can just see probably the difference of, like, you know, the engraving effect of, like, Igniter or Reflux on it. And it's going to be, like, you know, triple the price, basically. We might as well get rid of this as well. But you basically see what I mean. It's like, you know, it's probably quadruple or just huge in the price. I think I picked the wrong one, but I think I picked Igniter when I'm meant to be picking Reflux. But you can probably see the difference. If I could show it up, you probably could see a difference between a good piece and a bad piece purely from the finger. I like how it's not showing up, but, you know, you can see here that, you know, compared to other traits in Deadeyes, like, you know, the class trait, it is fairly expensive. Now, overall, we're going to check Grudge and Cursed Stole. Grudge and Cursed Stole are generally the two that are very expensive. And we check how they are going if you get both of those, which I'm going to say right now, they could probably be super expensive. But yeah, you can see here, they're not that expensive. I think the +4, geez. +4 going for 15g. You can probably pick some of these up for really cheap, but I think if you put one of them to 5.5 and put specialization on it, I think you're going to see a very different story. No. Actually, for the next probably, okay, for the next, but for the earrings and stuff like that, you can see that here. Very different story, but still quite cheap, you know, still quite cheap. Like, if you want to build a set with 15 Grudge and, you know, 15 Cursed Stole like this, you might be able to get, you know, a few pieces quite cheap. You know, you might be able to get a few pieces, you know, on the lowdown. So definitely something to take a look at as well. As you can see here, you know, 5k, 6k, that's actually pretty cheap. But overall, like, as I said before, and I said many episodes ago, if you are searching for basically class engravings on gear, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Overall, I think that's going to be it for today. I think I've gone through everything. I just want to double check if I've gone through everything, because sometimes I'm like, oh man, sometimes I forget it. So I'm just going to check if I've gone through everything. And that is pretty much going to be basically, yeah, I have been through everything at the moment. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you guys have a great day, and I see you guys later. Peace out, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and hope you guys have an amazing day. And yeah, like, overall, like, I'm a bit sorry that I can't give you, like, anything more, but it just feels like nothing's really changed in the market. Have a great day, guys.